Welcome to Prepare to Care, the AARP podcast that aims at bringing you free information, free resources, and free tools to help caregivers and their families. I am your host, Charlene James. Thank you for joining us. Well, we know that it's tax season, and tax scams, Zelle and Venmo red flags are the latest in a line of crimes that are targeting our communities. While scams can take various forms, there are often red flags that are common to many scams. Recognizing these red flags will help you avoid new and old scams. Here to talk to us about several scams targeting our communities is Lilly Chu, Program Coordinator with the Better Business Bureau Educational Foundation. Thank you for joining us and welcome.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me today.
Okay, let's get started. Tax season is upon us. Tell us, is it a good idea to use a tax prep company to get my refund more quickly?
Well, while you can get your money immediately, it's a costly option when there are free tax preparation services available out there for people who make a moderate income or older adults. And it will take a little bit longer to get your refund. However, it will save you a boatload of money. Right now, the IRS is talking about 21-day turnaround time if you file electronically and have your refund deposited directly into your bank account.
Okay. So if an online company only takes payment by app or peer-to-peer payment apps like Zelle and Venmo safe to use?
These are safe to use, the apps themselves. However, it should be a big red flag if a company only takes payment by Cash App, because once you send that money's gone. If for any reason you do not receive your item, or if you think you want a refund because it's not what you thought it was going to be, your money's gone. So trying to get it back is going to be difficult. So the app itself is safe, but do ensure that you have typed in your recipient's name, any kind of contact information if you're sending it by their email address or their phone number. Double, triple check it before you actually hit send, because again, once you send it, the money's gone. It is pretty much not going to come back to you. It's untraceable.
Okay, so are there any other red flags? And you certainly mentioned if they're the only ones that they will accept cash apps, to be cautious. So is there anything else beside that one in particular?
Um, Not really. A lot of companies these days are liking using the cash apps because they can get their payment immediately. But again, caution is what I would say. Just be very careful if they only will take payment by cash app. So they're not going to take payment by check or credit card, something like that. You have more consumer protection if you use a credit card than even using a debit card. So yeah, I would say if at all possible, obviously check out that company. If they're only asking for a cash app payment, research them deeply. Go to the Better Business Bureau, see if they have any complaints, that kind of thing, and see what their track record is.
Okay, makes sense. Well, we're always very protective of our veterans. And there are a lot of scams out targeting veterans. And one of those scams involves access to their government records. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are some dishonest businesses that are trying to charge veterans for their records when they can get them free from the Veterans Affairs Department. And usually they can get their records within a day. A lot of the scams we see right now are unscrupulous scammers who are calling veterans and maybe leaving a voicemail saying, we need to update your VA profile or something like that. And then they ask for their personal information like social security number, things like that. They may try and suck them into other things like mortgage remodifications, loan modifications, that kind of thing, when really they're just unscrupulous players. So anytime one of our veterans gets a phone call like that, or really anything, they should really be suspicious and contact the Department of Veterans Affairs, see if this is really an up and up legitimate request. And if it is not, then you want to report that to the Federal Trade Commission, as well as the FCC, which is the Federal Communications Commission, if they called you.
Okay. All right. That's so unfortunate that those things are happening to people that have served our country. And you've indicated some of the contact resources, and I'm sure the numbers will be provided so that they'll know exactly who to call to report the scam.
And and those two agencies are pretty easy. You just Google them, Federal Trade Commission, Federal Communication, or even just put FCC if you don't remember what it stands for. Okay. And it should bring up the contact information for those agencies.
Well, this has been a very informative, session. Any last words of wisdom? I mean, if you had to give 2 or 3 really good points for people to remember, what would those be?
Number 1 is probably, if it sounds too good to be true, it's like your mom said, it's probably too good to be true. Yeah. And when in doubt, check it out. Even if it seems like it's a legitimate source, unfortunately, these days, scammers can make your caller ID look like it's come from the VA. It could look like it's come from the IRS or Medicare. And if somebody calls you out of the clear blue sky and starts asking you for personal information like Social Security, Medicare, bank account, credit card numbers, be highly suspicious. And if at all possible, don't give them that information. Tell them you will check on it yourself, and then do check on it because it could be real. But get the contact information from a legitimate and verifiable source. Because these days, as I said, scammers can make your caller ID look like it's come from a legitimate company or government agency. They can make your emails look like it's come from a company or your bank or a loved one. So there are all these different ways that they can forge things to make it look like they're on the up and up when really they're not. And so if you get that queasy feeling in your stomach, please do check them out, and feel free to contact us at the Better Business Bureau. We're here to help you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, and be well.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You as well. We encourage you to follow Prepare to Care podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, or at www.aarp.org/Houston PTC. You can also catch past episodes on our AARP Texas YouTube channel. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for caring.